Welcome to the Mother-Daughter-ish podcast. It's your mama's favorite podcast.
And the podcast your daughter always wanted.
This is Miss Dawn.
And Angelique.
From the 713. Houston, y'all. Get connected and stay connected weekly as new shows debut on Sunday, Wednesday, and please check out our Saturday Out and About showcases.
Enjoy the show. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell every woman on the planet that you know about our show.
Here's our show for today. Mothers and daughters, guess what? I've got a PSA for you to join us for an amazing meet and greet. Join Mothers and Daughters and the International Ladies of Purpose for a special meet and greet on May the 17th at Black Rock Coffee Bar. That is the one that's located at 7075 Highway 6 North. It's in Houston, Texas, 77095. That's on the west side of Houston. We're going to be there from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Come and connect with us. Come and network with us. Come and meet and greet other nonprofit leaders and for-profit business owners in various communities around Houston. Also learn more about everyone's mission, how they empower other women, how they are uplifting communities. Whether you're passionate about personal growth, professional development, or simply want to meet like-minded individuals, this is absolutely the Saturday event for you. Mark your calendars, and we'll see you there at the Black Rock Coffee Bar, located at 7075 Highway 6 North, Houston, Texas, 77095, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Make sure you bring plenty of cards, plenty of postcards, plenty of flyers if you've got events coming up, plenty of everything to share with everyone that will be in attendance. I'll see you soon. Bye. Hey, mothers and daughters, you have another fantastic little bit of something from me today. I know that you've been enjoying the series for February, and guess what? Now we're in March, and I have another wonderful lady to bring to you. Her name is Andrea Mason. I'm going to let her introduce herself and also talk to you about her journey and being born in one place and then being alive and growing and flourishing and working and living in another place, but still having a little bit of curiosity. So introduce yourself and thank you for being my guest.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I
You're
love
welcome.
the energy that you bring to the table. I love the flowers behind you. It's just the energy and essence of the frequency that we need in today's day and age.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yes.
So
ladies and
tell me your
gentlemen,
name, where you were born, and where you are now.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is Andrea Mason, and I was born in Colombia, South America, and I am living now right on the outskirts of upstate New York. It is just amazing because the transition, we're always finding that missing piece, right? We rotate that wheel and then the ball goes into another part, and then now you have an empty piece of the puzzle.
Right.
And I'm here to share with you about my journey, my thoughts, and how I can support you in your transformational journey that you are embark upon in the near future.
I love it. So let's talk a little bit. Your story is going to be probably one of the most unique ones that I'll have for this particular series. And that's what I love about it, because everybody's been unique in some kind of way. But I would like to talk about how you got to the United States of America, if you don't mind sharing that story.
Absolutely. So I
Wait a minute. Let me put my seatbelt on. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Put your seatbelt on, sit back, relax, and turn up the volume, because grab a tissue for laughter of tears as well as laughter of emotion. That's what I'm already ready. Authentic. So what I usually tell individuals is, when you are younger, your story is told to you. Yes. But at one point, and at what point do you take the pen in your own hand and write your own story? Well, my story started during the war-torn drug zone era at its prime of the cartel in Colombia, South America. Now, I don't have any pictures or documents of my family, and though they have put me up for adoption, and I came to here with the angelic numbers of 11 pounds weighing in at 11 weighing in at 11 pounds, 11 months old, that's a pound per month. I am glad to be here. Why? Because at first I was, who am I? I have a blank slate. How do I look in the mirror to see my lineage? How do I look into the mirror and find my ancestry? I become a Colombian and not like spicy food.
Right.
So what happened was it started with frustration.
Yeah.
Looking for that kind of understanding of who you are. My parents always said, Andrea, no matter what you do what you love and do it fast. And they always said, when you are ready, we are able and willing to search for your biological parents.
Okay.
And
Now,
that's
let me stop you there. You said that you were adopted in the U.S. Your parents gave you away because they just wanted you to be in better hands, or there was an issue with the war, or what was that story?
So I don't know. The few documents that were transferred over was that they were not able to care for themselves, let alone me. So I'm going under the sunshine and rainbows that they want to give me a better life.
I understand that completely. Okay.
Yes. And so I was welcomed with open arms and unconditional love of my parents, Italian and Irish descent.
Okay.
So that's the beauty of it. But as we make the transition, the transformation and conformity arise. I was raised in an affluent and elite community where I didn't look like my parents. I didn't sound like my parents. And everybody in the neighborhood, I mean, it was mini-me's of their moms and dads. And I was just like, wow, I may have my father's, laugh. I may have my mother's twinkle.
Right.
There was something missing that I didn't obtain.
Right.
And I'll never forget this. I'll never forget when the kids, we were doing an assignment in school, and they were saying, like, so your family tree. And I was like, well, here. And I had pictures. And they were like, well, your dad has these color eyes. Your mom has this style of, physical features. Why are you so different? So I was so happy. I was so happy to say I'm adopted, because that was the message. So
you knew all along.
Yes, they told, pardon me, I forgot to mention that. Yes, they told me I remember first grade, they came in and they had told me, they presented me with a book and they said, well, why was I adopted?
Okay.
And it was a little child in a vending machine and a long list of parents waiting to choose that child. So that was the imagery and vision that I had of being adopted. And so when we did this project, they would point it out, and I said, I was adopted. They said, well, kids could be cruel, and they were. Well, if your parents didn't love you, how are you going to love? That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Right.
So when I have really gotten to get a better sense of the transition as I grew older, learning about Colombia a little bit, at that time, it was all negative. There was nothing. It was never a safe place. It was like, survival of the fittest. And it had a bad reputation at that time, aside from the beautiful country.
Yes.
And pardon me. And so I was going through the process of identity. Well, let's see. I hung out with all my Italian cousins. I had the stubbornness of the Irish. I had the Italian cuisine. And I wasn't feeling like I fit in, and I was just like, so people, but outsiders knew immediately. Some said I've had Native American features. Others had said, oh, she's Colombian immediately. And I was like, wow. And they'll immediately talk to me in Spanish.
Yeah.
But what the beauty is that when they spoke outside of elementary and high school Spanish, I understood innately. I understood what they were saying. Some of the music sounded familiar and resonated with me. So on the path of transitioning and moving, don't get caught up in losing where you came from.
Right.
Those are the deep roots that will flourish and blossom
Right.
that you bring to the table to your new destination. And
Absolutely.
so I feel that the nurturance, the love for music, and that Latin flair still is a seed inside of me that regardless if I don't know my family or my community or my ancestry lineage,
Hmm.
I'm still bringing that piece to wherever I roam.
That's right. Wow. That's really powerful because sometimes, first, I've never experienced speaking with someone who they knew from the beginning, because usually
Mhm.
parents will say, well, we'll wait until they're 18, and
Right,
at
right.
18, we'll let them know because maybe they're more
Mhm.
adult and, they're young adults and maybe they can handle it better. But I think that it was
Yeah,
beautiful that they told you at a young age because it gave you
yeah,
an opportunity to look into the culture of everything and read about
yeah.
things. And just because you heard things were negative, you found the beauty in some of
Mhm.
the things. So when you got a little bit older, did you start to look for other children that looked like you?
Yes.
Were
Actually, I
friends
went
with
to
you, find groups, or how did you navigate building community for yourself?
Great question, because I think that missing piece for me, my parents were so disciplined, structured, and
Yeah.
and and reserved.
Uh-huh.
They were bankers, and so they were very established and had a game plan. Okay, we're going to retire at 55. We're going to travel the world, and they did.
Okay,
But
wonderful.
because they had that preparation and discipline, I didn't have the outlets or the ability to stray away from that until high school. And
Mm,
the beginning and the middle school, that's when you get your like, kind of charisma, you get your attitude and everything.
mm-hmm.
And I wasn't really feeling the flicks of the females around me.
Right. Yeah,
Your
yeah,
best friend one day, you're not your best friend the next
right,
day.
right.
And so when the rebellion was firing up in me, as I call the hero's journey, that search of identity of
Mhm.
where my roots come from, not only the geographical component, but the other components of, the internal emotions about it,
Right.
ended up being steered to a private school.
Ah,
At first, I thought it was negative,
yeah,
but it was beautiful
that's good.
because it was a regional school. And now it was all aspects of life, the multicultural,
Like
you know,
international type of
cultures.
school, huh?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
So I was just like, this is amazing. So that to me also was a move in itself from going to my hometown
Right.
to now to a environment. Not only was it a pardon me, a private school, but it was an all girls school.
Okay,
So
okay.
now I was like stepping into, okay, I have to break away from this tomboy mentality because all my cousins were males and
Yeah.
I was close in age with them. We were really close.
Uh-huh.
And so I was now adopting, pun intended, a new identity,
That's right.
really testing the waters of my
There you
environment.
go, reinventing yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I speak about is that what I want everyone to keep in mind. You can live a life of vengeance or you can live a life of victory.
That's right.
But through life's adversities,
Right.
my friends, you have the ability to create your own identity.
That's right.
And it's a beautiful thing because what I thought was negative
Right.
as society portrayed Colombian, the roughhouse, they're very, rebellious and fight or flight can be something beautiful to nurturing and really family oriented, which also aligned with my American family,
Right.
which I've also adopted as well. And going to this private all girls school is now an international bandwidth of you know, all aspects of women,
Right.
tall, short, different backgrounds, different lifestyles, different socioeconomic status, different melatonin in their features. And I was like, this
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yes.
And so when you are a digital nomad, when you are considering to take that leap of faith to be the wanderer and wanderer of the world,
Hmm.
that's when you embody what your passion is of creating your own identity.
Yes, you discover who you really, really have inside of you instead of
Yes,
conforming to what's around you. You can be
yes.
whoever you want to be when you discover there's just so much out there.
And it's so comfortable being yourself. It's so
100%.
relieving, you know, when I can walk into a room of whatever they're at, and I know that there's a common thread of humanity.
There you
You want
go.
to be respected, loved, and understood. And
Absolutely.
that's all that matters. And if we keep that in mind and bring that gift of our presence everywhere we go, home is where the heart is, not where your feet land.
You are so right about that. At what age did you finally decide to find family in Colombia?
I haven't yet. So one of the documents that was salvaged from the transition from Colombia to America
Mhm.
dated in Spanish, and the interpretation was that due to physical impediments and the level of care that my family had,
Mm.
they were never going to reclaim me.
Oh,
So
okay. So
whether
you don't know
that
your
means that
cousins in Colombia or
I know nothing,
nothing.
absolutely nothing.
Is there a way, because I'm a sleuth and I'm nosy, is there a way that you can find out anyway?
I'm sure if I did, okay, well, disclaimer alert. I'm sure if I took a blood test, I could, but I don't know how you would perceive this, but I did go to the doctor for checkups and blood work, and twice they lost my blood. So I was like, all right, either I'm like
I think that's a message,
a
and
being, yes,
yeah, that's a
yes,
message. So, everything happens for a reason, and that's a
yes.
message
So I did
twice.
it, but you know what? I didn't get upset.
No. That-
I was just like,
when we
okay.
know ourselves and we
Hmm.
have a different understanding, those type of things don't upset us.
Right, right.
Because
And we
there's a
have to take off
reason.
those blinders.
That's
Yes,
right.
you have to take off the blinders and have open-minded that things happen for a reason. But what's funny that you mentioned this was one of my friends actually was in the mall
Okay.
and in America, and they must have passed someone or something, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, that's Andrea." And they said, "Andrea, Andrea, Andrea," wouldn't turn around. And they were like, "That's kind of rude. That's kind of weird." This was before cell phone times.
Yeah.
Circled back, and it wasn't me, but it looked exactly like me.
Yeah.
Now, for those believers out there with medians and spirituals and everybody, I do allegedly have siblings in America
You
that I
do?
don't know of.
Okay.
That's what I was told.
Have you taken a
So I
trip
don't
to
know.
Colombia for visiting?
Not yet. Not yet. That is on my next 1 to 2 year list. I was supposed to do it this year and
Yeah,
then everything fell by the wayside. But I believe there's a timing for everything because
absolutely.
I do want to do a documentary. I do want to go
I
back and kind of look at the roots because,
think it would be.
when you talk to family, my American family or new people who learn of me and my adoption,
Mhm.
and they look at footage of Colombia during the cartel, they're just like, I
Mm,
can't believe you made it here, you
mm,
know?
yeah.
And that has been the footprint, the legacy that I carry on from my biological family
Hmm.
in the line of work that I do. I mentor and intern and coach on every continent.
Okay.
And I've spoken in orphanages in Asia and Africa
Mm,
and Australia and Europe. And I've spoken about this because I want to give back.
yeah. What a
It's all about perspective and perception. Perspective is the senses that you see things in with the eyes, ears, nose, and mouth and throat and
yeah.
ear. But it's
So
the perception of your assessment and how you interpret it and analyze.
very,
Analyze.
very true. So even though you live in New York and you have your Colombian roots, of course, is there any place that you think you would also like to live in, or is New York the end all be all?
Right on the outskirts of New York, but I fell in love with Hawaii.
Oh.
I went there, and when I went there with my family, I experienced something that was surreal.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to the luau, and other than it's a beautiful, probably one of the most beautiful states in the United States,
Hmm.
but when we went to the luau, and whether it was through song or just the ambiance of that place,
Hmm.
I felt like Moana, like, oh my goodness, I know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it be the parallel of an indigenous background,
Right.
or an extension of, who knows, because during the time, Colombia has, South America has had a lot of integration with a lot of surrounding islands, the Caribbean,
Right.
Asia, Africa, and everything.
Right.
But when I went to Hawaii and I went to that luau on Maui, I was just like, it was a surreal out of body experience.
Yeah.
That reflected when I came back to America and I started going to Native American powwows across the region in the tri-state area.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, this is my internal drum.
Mm-hmm.
This is something. So I would definitely recommend. We think we have this infinite amount of time, ladies and gentlemen, where we have the opportunity to explore the world and everything. Take this opportunity now.
You better take the opportunity. I'm going to tell you
To
something, Andrea.
travel everywhere.
When I was 21 to 23, I thought they
Mm-hmm.
stopped it there. I thought I was going to be 20 something forever.
Right.
Like forever. I just told my daughter, I
Right.
said, I'm 52 now, but when I turned 50,
That's
that was
great.
the first year, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, that was the first year I didn't feel 18. Like I
Mm,
always felt like, well, I just got out of school, a couple of years
right.
ago or something, even though I've gone to my
Right.
30 class anniversary and all
Right.
that stuff. But
You
I
still
just
have that
still had
fire in
the
you.
18-year-old spirit. And I told her, I said, this is the first time I don't feel 18 anymore. I actually feel like I made it to 22 or something. And she's
Right.
like, what do you mean by that? I said, it's just a spirit thing. I said, I can't explain it.
Right.
I can only tell you to look for that fire that's within
Cool.
yourself. And, age to me literally is just a number. It's all about how
Right.
I feel, and I'm in
Hmm.
control of how I feel.
Right. I mean, there's times where I'll go to functions and, be while I'm speaking to students and youth, they're like, ma'am, yes, ma'am. And I'm gonna like, I'm not, that's weird. I'm just like, I'm the same size as you when you're like 18. No, because I think what we have to heal from the process in mental health and the journey. I did a Latino Travel Fest in New York City in
Okay,
2023,
okay.
and that was like motherland, homeland for me. It was all different Latinas, Hispanics, all over the world came under one roof and did an event.
Wow.
And I'll never forget, I came home and my family was just like, okay, I don't know what you did, but you came back as either Rosie Perez, Jennifer Lopez, or Michelle Rodriguez. You had a harsh Latina accent and you were talking really fast and your accent came out like something.
Oh, wow.
But that's the beauty of it
Mm,
when you find your authentic self,
there you go.
because it comes out and shines brightly with no fear, no limit,
Mm,
just genuinity.
that is so true. So what's on the horizon for Andrea? What is it that you're working on? What lights you up? What makes you smile? What is it that you're doing? Because I heard you say that you like the giving back aspect of things. You want to know what you're doing for work that lights you up. And I don't mean specifics. I just mean, like you said, you're an accountability coach. Who
Yes.
doesn't need one of those?
Right. And that's the thing that I'm kind of working on, because words are spells and people are like, "Ooh, accountability. I'm going to get responsible. I'm going to get reprimanded."
Mm,
No.
mm-mm,
So
mm,
I'm kind of toying with maybe modifying that. I do have the resolution specialist, which a lot of people like, that I've adopted, finding solutions rather than excuses
right,
to
right, right,
situations.
right,
And what lights me up with work, or what I do, is I don't even believe I do work. I do passion,
right.
follow my heart. And the quote that I really take into account that I said years ago was, follow your heart, not the herd nor the hurt,
Mm-hmm.
for success and joyfulness are on the other side.
That's right.
And the word herd can be what you hear, or the masses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what really lights me up is connecting with individuals like yourself. Like today, I actually connected with someone I've been virtually connected with for years,
Oh, wow.
overseas in Pakistan, and was able to shake hands with and just have that spiritual, three-dimensional, interpersonal connection of gratitude, attitude. Hey,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like minded individuals were making impact.
Right.
And that's what I love, the personal connection. I've unfortunately, although it's not unfortunately because I choose to,
Right, right, right.
I'm kind of solitary in my virtual component here, home base.
Okay, good.
And so, because I speak to so many people globally every hour of the day,
Yes.
I don't have that ability. I can make it happen to make the appointment I made today, but I don't have the ability, and I'm making that transition to get out in the three-dimensional world. I'm an extrovert. I didn't know I was an extrovert. I knew I was outgoing, but I didn't know I was an extrovert until March 17th, 2020, when everything changed, and I've been working from this chair since then,
And
except
you're
with the
like, I gotta
speaking
get out
event.
and touch people. I need to see
Right.
people. I need to bump
Yes.
fists or shake hands or do that's right. And
Yes.
see, I am a super extrovert that's introverted, meaning, oh,
Oh,
I'm a good time when I'm out there. But when it's time for me to get my peace and quiet, I shut everything down. I shut all electronics off, and I literally just will sit and stare at a wall or just close my eyes and say whatever I'm gonna say, and just I can do that for 30 minutes and be good. But
wow.
when I'm out and about, oh, I'm there. I'm
Life
present.
of the party. You're present. Yes.
Life of the party. You will not forget that you met me. But when I'm home,
Okay.
I like to just kind of be to myself. I love being on Zoom with people, but you're right. 2020 taught us all who we really who we
Yeah,
really are.
yeah. It brought out the areas of improvement and the areas of strength.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
I'm able to, I, I love the warmer weather, so
Me
I love going
too.
into nature. I really get connected with nature, and with the storms, with the cold weather and everything and raining, it doesn't really help. But at the same token, I'm able to ground myself. So
That's
I'm unplugged by
okay.
choice.
Okay.
I don't go on the internet, the TV, the radio unless I choose to, and I'm making that selection on that button. You
That's
know what
right.
I mean? So that, I think, has protected me as an empath,
Yeah, absolutely.
but also has kind of disconnected me when I make a connection in the States or someone who's on topic of the world. Because in my eyes, in order to thrive in what I do as an empath, as someone of passion and someone who loves connecting and really being attentive and intentional with people,
Right.
it's a little bit difficult because they'll be like, "Oh, remember what happened on the TV or what happened in the world?" And I'm like, kind of really don't, I'll get the signals from my family members, but I really don't have the knowledge or statistics or
Right.
what they're manipulating in that
I
period.
you
But
and I
what I do
You and
have
I
is,
are parallel on a lot of things because I'm telling you,
yeah,
if my mom doesn't call and tell me
yep, yep,
what's happening, I'll never know because I
right,
canceled all TV services like
yeah,
11 years.
yep, that's what I
I
did.
haven't
Yeah.
watched a news program since David Letterman left the nighttime.
Oh,
I
wow.
just do not watch TV. I don't want to be
Right,
poisoned by all of the craziness. If the world
right.
is going to you know what in a handbag, I'll figure it
Yeah.
out. My mom will call and tell me, or
Yes,
the rain will come down and I'll go, oh, looks like there's going to be a storm.
yes,
I cannot have my brain poisoned. I've put too many hours, too much money, too much time, and too much effort into myself to have my mind erased and then have to build it up again. Erased, build back up again. I want to keep it on a
right.
high at all times.
High frequency. And what the beauty about that is, I do a segment, Jonah and Squirrel, because I have no clue. I'm the squirrel that lives under a rock, has no clue what's going on. But I'll get a phone call. I said, like, my dad is my father, my hero, but he'll be the person like, hey, but we're all together, Mr. Optimistic. And
Yeah,
then I'll have the others like, oh my gosh, everything is going crazy. And I've adopted the mentality. If it's not going on in my own house right now, let it be at bay. Somebody
exactly.
will tell me somewhere, somehow,
There
there'll
you
be
go.
a morning. And that's what happened when I remember there was something that had gone on with, not to get into deep, but when there was a decision that had been made on the election.
Uh-huh.
I had no clue, but the energy that I felt that day at 8 o'clock, I was like, whoa.
What
I
happened?
felt like Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars, and I was like, there's been a shift in the universe. I could feel a shift in the force.
I
And so I know I'm tapped in, but what we could do, and this is, and then if you're looking to travel, I encourage this because this is what I do. Get a playlist of the places you want to go
Right, a bucket
and
list.
do a slideshow or a POV or a 4K. I put it on, I have to bring it back because I know I'm missing it. I have a playlist of Hawaii because I fell in love with it, of Hawaii, and it's showing, homes, and it's a walkthrough virtual tour. But when I tell you, I can literally be physically sitting here, but if I'm watching that video, I am right there holding the camera, enjoying every essence, every
That's right.
sense
If
and
you're
6 sense.
literally there.
Yes, yes. And I definitely recommend that for individuals. And when I went to the Latina Travel Fest, a lot of women are solo digital nomads now.
That's right.
And they're educating individuals. It's not as fearful as you
Yes.
think.
Yes.
Just like anything else. You can
Yes.
go outside and get hit by a car. It's just preparing and having the patience and passion to do it.
That's
And
right.
when you overcome that fear, ladies, fear is an illusion. It's what we feed into it. I will never forget this reel that I said, let's stop worshiping worry and worship wonder.
Right.
And I was like, wow,
That,
energy
that
flows where
changes
focus
everything
goes.
when you say that, because now you're
Yeah.
accountable to changing
Yes.
that. So what would be the one tip that you would leave for women who are afraid to make the journey? Because in their mind, they've convinced themselves, if I move, I'm not going to get a husband. If I move, my job may not sustain me, and then I'll have to come back to wherever. If I move, I may not get a chance to grow a family. If I move, I just might not find any friends. You just dispelled literally all of that, because you're not
Right.
from where you went to school, but then you ended up in a school where you could, wow, there's a lot of difference. So what would be at least just one tip that you would give the women that are watching this series, that they want to do it, but they have all this fear built up?
Erase the opposition,
Mm,
embrace the opportunity.
mm,
You
mm,
never know what's going to happen. You never know. Like, your belief system is going to carry you the right path when you move with your intuition.
mhm,
Everything is working for you.
mhm,
And where there's a fear, there's also a opportunity for fruition.
mhm.
I thought I was getting reprimanded because my parents didn't want me to fall with the wrong crowd. Oh my gosh, you're going to send me to a private school? How dare you? I don't want to go to a private school. That's not even my hometown, which I wasn't really fitting in anyways.
Right.
And my friends were there. And it what opened up an opportunity
Mm-hmm.
of pursuing my career in athletics, really molding and tuning into an all-girl school where I had the opportunity, the voice, and the option to learn who I really am independently, and then explore what's available. It's like trying food for the first time. You don't know if you like it if you don't try it.
Right.
So,
You'll never
what's the
know.
worst that can happen? And even the worst that can happen, 9 times out of 10 doesn't happen.
That's right.
You know,
You are so right, especially for those that are overthinkers. They think of every worst thing that could happen. I remember I forgot his name. It might have been Joe Vitale. He used to say, well, don't think about what if and think negative. He said, think about what if up. Think about
yes,
the upside of things. And I'm just like, that
right.
just makes so much
Yeah.
sense to be able to
And
retrain your brain to think like that, because that's literally what has to happen. It's like brain surgery almost.
yeah,
Retrain your
that
brain.
rewire. Yeah.
It's like me. If I walk into a room and there's certain conversations going on, my spirit goes, "You're not supposed to be in this room," and I move around. I mean, I will get around so quickly because I can recognize when somebody's trying to run game. I can recognize when
Mm-hmm.
someone's telling lies for no reason. I can
Yeah.
recognize when there's deception. Like, my spirit will be like, "Mm-mm, that's not even true."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know what that is about me, but I've been like that. And my daughter,
It's
she's
the
24
raise of
years old.
vibration.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
daughter's 24 years old, and she's been that way since she was a baby. I mean,
Yeah.
since the time she could talk and walk, she just has a discernment about her. And I'm like, yeah, that's mine.
But if you think about it, we were able to adjust that, flip the switch, the breaker switch. We
Right.
unplugged. Everybody has this skill, everybody has this gift. You just have to tap into it and say, all right, let me open this box right now. Like at Christmas, you want to open the big one, but then you see a little one and you're like, wait, maybe the little one is a little bit better than a big one, and you just leap of faith, have faith on it. And, about Joey Vitale, same thing with Tony Robbins. He goes, why not me? Or why me? Why is this happening to me? Well, why not me?
Yeah.
It's about just that shift. And ladies, if you think about traveling, take a girl trip.
Yeah.
Why not? Explore it. First, go there visually in your mind. Look at as many YouTubes, vloggers. Nowadays, you can get a POV any day.
Yes.
Get a sense for it. Then take the next step. Get a brochure about it. Go to a travel agent. Talk to somebody who's been there. Get a local point of view from the locals. And then you're
join those different forums. Join
Mm-hmm.
those forums where those individuals are that you want to travel. I'm in so many different nomads here and nomads there and nomad, and I get to talk to so many people like, you know what, I'm going to be coming to Morocco this year, and I just wanted to ask you a few things, and they are so helpful. So you're so right. Get that visualization there so that by the time you get there, you already feel like you're at home.
Yes, it's just the first step. Everybody starts at the starting line. It's a matter of your choice to take that next step.
Absolutely. I think we will end right there. That's perfect. It's a matter of your choice to take the next step. I like that.
Yes.
Thank you, Miss Andrea, for being my guest today. And thank you again for just agreeing to come on and give me your time. And I am so appreciative of you.
Absolutely. And I want to gift your audience.
Okay.
Check out, let's connect. Let's have a discovery call on taking that first step, whatever it is in your life. Chat, saving for travel, preparing for travel, packing for travel. I'm a professional organizer. I could get you in one suitcase. You'll be set for 2 weeks.
Right.
Let's connect and let's step out of your comfort zone so the uncomfortable feels comfortable, because that's where the journey begins.
Oh, that's where the goodness begins too.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
So they can connect with me on my website, andreamasons.com/gift, and put in the subject line so I know where you came from.
Make sure you send that to us so I can put it down in the description and they can just go right there and click.
Absolutely. Yes.
All right, Andrea. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.
Let's talk about it. I gotta admit, proud of who you become, and everything that you've done. Mother and daughter are always greater when they're together. Everything's better. Mother and daughter, oh, they're the greatest duo. Mother and daughter, oh, they're the greatest duo.
I don't get on TikTok like that.
It's not on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. That was on IG.
Anything you see on IG is on TikTok.